Hey kids, you trying to get into Segment City? Well, you really shouldn't, because Segment City is a mature podcast, and listener discretion is advised. I'm just trying to look at... I know I'm in an alleyway. I know how I look, but I got some fireworks for you kids. I got snakes and I got sparklers. That's all I got. Oh, don't give me that.
Will, what biome are you most advantaged for? Pick your best biome.
I was gonna make a joke about high school biology, all the different biomes, thinking about those. I was so this is kind of my Pokemon type.
Yeah,
my
right.
Magic
Exactly.
the Gathering.
Are you a volcano biome type of fellow? Is that your biome? Are you more beach
Icelandic
biome?
or
exactly.
Hawaiian? This is actually funny because I've realized that a lot of the vacations I go on are to mountainous regions.
Yeah, you're
to like
right. That's your preferred place.
I like it. Beaches are okay. I'm not a resort kind of guy because I feel like that's the delineation between vacation spots, right? Are you going there to relax in Aruba, or are you going to because I also like going to cities, like going to Paris or going to like hiking locations. I think those are the most interesting places. So I think I also feel like that just fits my body type because I'm just so warm.
So you're woods, you're grass type, you're woods type.
Woods mountainy, a little snowy.
Yeah, maybe you're a combination of rock and grass type. That's like what you're about.
That seems great.
Yeah, that seems nice. That seems really good. That seems like a good type.
If I'm gonna do the hackneyed tall joke for you.
Yeah, do it, dude. Oh, sick, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
You're better, my friend.
Nice joke, man.
How's it hanging up there?
Yeah, great. I was thinking about this because I think with the recent heat, I've just been a lizard, and I think I'm okay with the hot. I could be a desert boy.
You could be a desert boy.
Or a swamp boy. I could be a swamp or a desert boy.
Swamp boy. That's if you like humidity.
I'm a bayou boy.
Oh, a bayou boy. Now, we practice a certain kind of dark magic here, so you can come down to the swamp and we'll make you a
I can't tell if
wizard.
you're trying to scam me out of my life's earnings or tell me about information about the swamp.
A little column A, a little column B, my friend.
If you start talking like that and you're a tour guide, I just start assuming you're trying to lure me into something.
Or they're just an alligator that has put on a human disguise.
Why don't you just come down into this nice bog and see what's underneath this rock?
It might be, that's my lovely wife. She has a hatchet.
Some beautiful crocodilo babies that need eating.
She bit your legs off. That is literally a Magic the Gathering thing, though, is swamp type, which has a skull on it, though.
Yeah, it's swamp type.
Okay, that's fair. Those are very different, though. I could see you being desert, though. Have you ever considered that being because Amy and I have talked about
incorporating
if you
desert into part of my personality is become a desert guy.
Yeah, you could maybe do that.
I feel like it would be pretty poser of me being in the Northeast, having grown up my whole life here, and then being like, you know what I'm about is deserts.
Well, actually, this is actually a great Will Asks. So let's just introduce the podcast and we can transition the conversation to that. My name's Will Kane, and I am the rock grass wizard. What side is the moss on me?
And I'm Theo Wizard. Come on down to my bayou. I'll show you a few things.
And this is a podcast where Theo and I dumpster dive our way through the bayou. And also the dumpster. I mean, that is just kind of the dumpster of nature, isn't it? The bayou.
Drain the bayou? No.
Drain the bayou.
No, we love the bayou. Keep it wet.
Yeah, well, we go to all your favorite websites. We get all those good comedy morsels from Wikipedia, Amazon, any site you really can think of. And we package them into segments for you. Now let's get into the Will Asks, because this is a topic that Annie and I have talked about. If you had to move to another part of the U.S., where would it be?
Another part. So there's some radius that
another
you were
state,
defining as... Another state, because we're in an area where there's so many states that I could move a relatively short distance and be in a different state, you know?
Yeah.
This
if
is a
you
pretty
enjoy
softball
this part
question.
of this country.
I mean, yeah, right? Like I'd probably just move to like Rhode Island or some bullshit and be like, I'm still here, baby. I never left.
What up?
I love Rhode Island for their infatuation with hot wieners and, awful milkshakes and coffee milk. There's some good things. There's some good things about, it's sort of like the goobery estate that we all get to punch down on Rhode Island because they do all these goobery things and we're like, oh, silly Rhode Island. But there's some charm to it.
Aren't they like the ocean state?
They are the ocean state. Yes, they are the ocean state.
I think that's the funniest thing because they're the smallest state, but they have the biggest.
But that's the best. That's the best part about being in the Northeast is you got all the best states. You got first dibs because these were the first states. You got the first ones.
I will fight back that New England, it does get some of the worst. It's very fluctuating. Like in terms, it gets so hot in the summer and gets very humid, and then it gets cold in the winter. I could see myself. I don't think I'm a desert boy. I think I would burn too much. Yeah. I could see myself being a Seattle boy. I could see myself in
you like rain vibes. I would go insane. I would go stir crazy. I need to be able to get outside, even in the hot.
Yeah, that's true. There, Midwest. There's like lovely places in the South, but not the deep South. Like not South Carolina. That's lovely weather, I do believe.
I like the idea of the Midwest because, well, I'm of two minds about it. Because
cheese?
On the one hand, the Midwest is the king of all places of you think you're better than me because everyone does think they are better than the Midwest. But on the flip side, everyone in the Midwest is so nice that they never cross their mind of you think you're better than me. No one in the Midwest has once thought you think you're better than me.
This is also. I'm going to say a lot of serial killers, though. I think that niceness does mask a lot of. You think you're better than me? Why don't you come on in and then we'll sort you out? But I think there's actually a lot of serial killers from the Midwest, and also California. But that doesn't really. I could also see myself living in California. That's a very nice place to live, but also very crowded.
Also very crowded. That's true.
If I had money, that would be a nice. But there are also certain parts of the country that are currently going through changes that are not great, including like Roe v. Wade kind of stuff. That makes
definitely a limiting factor.
A limiting factor for a lot of things. But that's kind of a sad topic. So let's move on to something happier, which will hopefully be your next segment.
Sure thing. This first segment, as is per usual, comes to us from thetakeout.com, alive and better than ever. We're back. I continue to trumpet their triumphs because they have made a name for themselves on this podcast and they deserve all the praise. This is a little throwback, and it's entitled, The Tremendous Number of Beers Andre the Giant Could Throw Back.
Yes! Have we not talked about Andre the Giant before?
I think we've talked about him in
passing.
We sorted like, we paint a little area of what he is, and then we go away and we return and we paint another little corner. And so we're sort of paint by numbers shaping, we're painting the mosaic that is the beautiful man, Andre the Giant.
I love Andre the Giant. I'm coming out strong. I've never heard anything bad said about the man. He's always nice. He was always lovely. Also in a lot of pain because he did have a lot of pain.
That's relevant to this. Yeah, relevant to this article. So here goes the article. When wrestling fans talk about a hypothetical Mount Rushmore that would feature all-time greats like Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Andre Roussimoff, that's his real name, right? Andre Roussimoff, aka Andre the Giant, is often in the mix. The problem with including the eighth wonder of the world is that he'd need the most of the mountain all to himself, since he was literally one of the biggest sports stars at 7 feet, 4 inches tall, and more than 500 pounds. What a man. Huge. Absolute hippopotamus of an individual.
He was absolutely massive. He was also in the parlance of wrestling, he was a face. Like, he was a good guy.
He was a good guy, right.
Until which I think, get into the article. But he does, at like the end of his career, they tried to turn him into a heel, which was very, like, he didn't want that. Nobody wanted that.
It probably went, from what everything I've heard, it probably went way against his character. Like, he probably didn't want
absolutely.
As a person.
Yeah.
Needless to say, it took a lot to fuel such a supersized body, but it wasn't just food that sustained the big man. According to numerous accounts, he frequently put away enough beer to float a fleet of battleships. How much are we talking about? Well, in a 1984 appearance on the David Letterman show, Andre confirmed a rumor that he'd once knocked back 117 beers in a single night.
Where is he going? That they're just like, okay, we
Keep it
broke
going.
3 digits. Like, do we cut him off?
We got to put another
Like,
keg on for this one man.
That's incredible. I mean, compared to his hand, I've seen like a can of beer in his hand. It looks like a tiny little shot glass.
Yes, it looks like nothing. Yeah, it looks like a cartoon size little baby, like a little prop from like a kid's set or whatever. Just so you know, 117 beers over 6 hours would have been enough to give even a man weighing a quarter ton a blood alcohol concentration more than 10 times the legal limit. This definitely falls into the don't try this at home kids category, since it'll very likely kill you. I don't think I've had 117 beers in my life.
In total? Yeah. I could see that.
I mean,
how many had around that in my life?
Well, I'm probably lowballing it if I'm honest.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about like because I'm not a heavy drinker. I honestly, drinking now kind of makes me feel sick. After
I probably haven't had that in the past 5 years.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
That's probably fair to say.
Mm-hmm. Because also, you're not a big drinker, and
no,
I'm
not.
COVID times.
I'm also
so
even when I drink, I don't drink that much, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like a couple of beers if I'm drinking, but it's like really not that much. Wild. The crazy thing is there are stories out there where Andre tops even this feat. Hulk Hogan told CBS Boston that the gargantuan drinking buddy once put away 108 beers in just 45 minutes.
That's incredible. That's genuinely
insane.
You're 50% beer at that point. Imagine how
man
much
heard
Holy
man
shit.
heard Power Hour and was like, "What do you mean? That's a Tuesday." He was on pace to double a Power Hour.
How did he pay for it all too? Because like,
wait, but a Power Hour is one shot of beer every minute. Jesus Christ!
He's having more than a can.
Oh my God, more. That's insane.
Yeah, he had 2.5 beers per minute. Like, that's insane.
That's absurd.
For 40 minutes, he just was boom, boom, boom.
How do you do that? While another wrestler named Mark Graham claimed in an episode of WWE's Legends of Wrestling that he'd counted 156 pint-sized cans of beer that the Giant threw back in one night. Beer may have been one of Andre's go-to beverages. There are a few, if any, accounts of him sucking down soda. And during his days in the WWF, he'd reportedly warm up for a match by guzzling about 12 quarts of the stuff. We did the math for you. This is the equivalent of 3 gallons or 32 12-ounce beers. However, during the days when the Giant was still wrestling in the territories, as the local promos were called, it seemed he may have preferred wine, which stands to reason since he was French, and France is one of the world's top-producing wine countries. Gerald Briscoe, who wrestled with Andre back in those days, told the Tampa Bay Times that his friend's regular pre-match ritual involved emptying 6 bottles of rosé.
6
before
bottles
a match.
That he would be like, "Hey, how's it going, everyone?" Like, I mean, Andre the Giant, not the most intelligible man on the best of times.
No.
But like, I don't think he would notice.
Maybe he's more intelligible in insane. French. Oh, I hope.
Yeah, maybe. But it's like that's sort of just like as a pre-workout. A pre-workout.
For him, a bottle of wine is like the size of our soda can, like relative to us. But that's still absurd to be like, before I go wrestle, I'm going to drink 6 soda cans full of rosé. Like, that's absurd.
Yeah. I guess the equivalent for a normal like size person would be 6 cans of beer.
Right.
As an equivalent, but that's still a lot. Like if somebody drank that much before, I'd be like, "You're an alcoholic, sir."
As Hulk Hogan recounted to the CBS Boston one time during a bus ride, the big man knocked back a dozen bottles of wine in 3 hours.
Oh my God.
That's insane. Four bottles of wine an hour for 3 hours while on a bus, which I feel like is not the venue for drinking wine. Like,
no.
How are you going to get up and pee? Like, he definitely doesn't fit in a bus bathroom. Like, there's no way.
Sloshing around. There's wine on the carpet now.
Oh God,
there's
that's
on
terrible.
the seats. Yeah, that's not great.
Andre didn't stay away from the harder stuff either. Bobby the Brain Heenan, another old school wrestler, recounts in his autobiography how his colleague once kept a hotel bartender up way past his bedtime by ordering and consuming 40 vodka tonics. Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's so much. I'm kind of getting sad now because as we said, I know the heel turn, I say punnily.
By all accounts, the G was a fun drunk. Countless Wrestling World sagas began with Andre double fisting six packs. He just got wackier from there. There was a time when he and Dusty Rhodes hijacked horse-drawn carriages for a drunken joyride, and also the time where he passed out in a hotel lobby and slept camouflaged under a piano cover.
What? So they're saying he's as big as a piano, and nobody was like,
everyone's like,
hey,
what's
why
that
is
really
that not
lumpy
flat?
character?
No, why is it snoring? Do pianos snore?
So here's the sad bit. While drinking didn't make the big man morose, though, he was nevertheless doing it for self-medicating purposes. According to Andre's Princess Bride co-star Carrie Elways, the wrestler turned actor drank because his supersized body was hurting more than he could bear due to the numerous injuries he sustained over the course of his career. As Elways told Vanity Fair, his doctor didn't know what kind of pain medication to give him because of his size, so the only way that he could deal with the pain was to drink alcohol. Former pro wrestler Ted DiBiase concurred, telling CBS Sports he hated pills, medicine, and painkillers and stuff because he saw what he was doing to other guys, and adding that the way Andre killed his pain was medicating himself with booze, which is a sad reality for someone who was so happy during life but was going through so much.
Yeah, and he gave so much joy to so many people. Yeah, it's a sad story. Which if we were at the end of the article, there's a anecdote from the Princess Bride from somebody that said that he farted for a minute straight one time.
Big man got a big fart.
And then I don't know his response. It could be interpreted two different ways, but the director came up to him and was like, "Are you okay?" And he said, "I am now, boss," which I always read as, "I am now boss." Like, I have asserted my dominance by
this
farting
is the
for a
way
minute.
you show your dominance in this arena. Yes.
Yeah. But just farting for a minute is so because like a minute is way longer
That's
than
marking
you think.
your territory.
Yeah, I've like jokingly said I've probably farted for a minute. There's no way in actuality I've actually farted for a minute.
60 full seconds.
I haven't farted for 30 seconds. That's an insane length by itself.
That's right. He's more than doubling our statistics out here.
Yeah.
Well,
poor guy.
Poor guy. But I hope that your next segment goes longer than 1 minute.
Oh, that's. I mean, these are pretty short articles in the news. I have a few quick but very funny fucking internet as fuck. These are the most internet stories I've ever seen.
That's what we're here for.
So these are going to be a few articles. The first one is from The Guardian. This is from January of 2019. So older story, but still has modern players in it. WikiFeet. How online foot fetishists debunked Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez's fake nudes.
Wild. Okay. Hey, you know how in Whole Foods they now have the option to like pay with your palm, and Amazon's like,
what?
Yeah, that's it. Have you heard of this?
That's a thing?
You haven't heard of this?
No.
So
I don't like that.
No, it's really bad. It's not good.
No.
Basically, what they want you to do is scan your palm, and their idea is like that's a definitive biometric that will not change, so you can pay with it, and they just like charge your account or whatever. So they'll do a lookup on your palm. But I like this reality where someone was like, I have a database in my mind of feet, and I know that if I scan this foot, it's not returning the result that you say it returns. It's sort of doing the Amazon lookup.
Yeah, that's but this is not just a automated system. This is literally
this is people
online.
Creeps.
Yeah, these are creeps online. So this is also a weird article where it's like kind of a call and response kind of weird writing of it.
Okay.
Name WikiFeet. Age 11. Why are you saying the age of wikifeet.com?
Also, that's
why are you phrasing
also
it like
gross.
that?
I don't like that.
I'm just going to TLDR for this part. WikiFeet, for people who don't know, is where people collect images of celebrities.
Wait, that's a real thing? Jesus Christ.
That's 100% a real thing. And they will rate them. Because they also... I'm also going to be say Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez's name is AOC. That's what everyone usually calls her. So I'm just going to be calling her AOC. But have you seen feet? They look like bits of mangled swampwood. This is where I'm cutting down to.
All right. I don't need their editorialize. They tried to be a little goofy guys in here.
They do a little bit of wiki feet reporting. Apparently, it is visited by 700,000 people every week.
That's a lot of people.
And among them are the best amateur detectives since Jessica Fletcher. Now I'm interested. Says the call. I'm gonna try to have different voices for.
I need some of that.
Now I'm interested.
Okay, strap in and I'll tell you the strange case of AOC's fake nude feet. As in AOC the Congresswoman? That's it. This weekend, someone on Reddit posted a picture of a woman's legs and feet. You couldn't see her face, but she was bathing in a bath holding a vape pen, and the image was emblazoned with text suggesting AOC had posted it on Instagram in 2016. I don't think I saw this. Really? You don't need to you don't subscribe to r/drama subreddit? Oh boy. Here's the thing. The pictured feet were not those of AOC. How can you be so sure? Because the good people of WikiFeet, who apparently get their rocks off by looking at actual pictures of AOC's feet, immediately recognized the post as a fake.
Bold of this author to be the good people that are
the good
people that we raise up to our our society's best.
It's like the end of New Hope where it has a big ceremony and they're putting medals on it. It's
wow.
gold. It's feet medallions that they're putting on yes, a hero of the highest order. So they did. A WikiFeet user told Vice that the feet in the image posted to Reddit looked as if they had suffered from brachydactyly. Brachydactyly. An inherited trait whereby the bones of the fingers and toes are relatively short compared to the rest of the body. But this doesn't align with WikiFeet's gallery of AOC. She has her own gallery? Absolutely.
Oh no.
WikiFeet, which describes itself as a collaborative site for sharing, grading, discussing celebrity feet pictures and videos, has 15 photos of AOC. And
this is one of the many reasons why I hope I'm never famous. This is terrible. This is horrifying.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be even worse if you got a low rating. Guess what her rating is? Because they say in this article. It's out of 5, by the way.
Probably gross. Probably high.
3.25, which is kind of feels low.
Kind of middle of the road.
Yeah. Which means she has, quote, okay feet.
I don't need to know that.
Yeah. Wow, the internet is harsh. It is, and ingenious. Thanks to the collective minds of the respective WikiFeet and Reddit communities, AOC's has managed to avoid a potentially career-ending scandal. The scandal being that she vapes and sometimes washes her body? It's so much worse than that. The image clearly shows a bottle of pumpkin-scented shampoo on the side of the bath. They're joking. It's all
right.
It doesn't really matter. This is just kind of a funny thing that these WikiFeet people were no. Actually, those are not the right length of toes. I should know. This next article, I feel is, oh God, the name of the article just made me just hop right in. This is from Tech Radar, an article from July 10th, 2024, very recent. Gay furry hackers attack Heritage Foundation and release sensitive data relating to Project 2025.
Hell yeah, brother. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Come on.
This article goes into a very basic version of Project 2025. I will implore you, if you don't know what it is basically the far right takeover plan for if Trump gets another presidency. They say we're going to dismantle the education department as one of the things.
Go look it up. We're not going to
look it up. Here. It's awful. Yeah, it's a bunch of.
I really like
things,
that.
But this is a great thing.
I really like that these hackers are I will never reveal my identity. Okay, I'll give you a few things. I am a furry. All right, a few more things. I am gay. All right.
You'll never discover where I am, except at the conventions full of gay furries. I might be a fox.
My
identity
is safe for now.
But a group of self-described gay furry hackers have stolen 2 gigabytes of data from conservative think tank the Heritage Foundation. The hackers, known as SiegeSec, stole and released the data in retaliation to the think tank's Project 2025, a list of policy proposals to be enacted almost immediately after Donald Trump's inauguration, should he win election. The first key takeaway listed on the Project 2025 document states that, quote, "It's past time to lay the groundwork for a White House more friendly to the right." So that should give you the stakes. And that's about as much as they go into it. SiegeSec got its hand on the data on July 2nd, which, according to Cyberscoop, contains information created between 2007 and November 2022 relating to the right-wing media website known as the Daily Signal, which has ties to the Heritage Foundation. A member of the group who goes by Theo told Cyberscoop that the hacktivist group launched the attack to provide... Theo is absolutely
definitely not Theo.
Not Theo. Theo. V-I-O is how it's spelled.
Check, please.
To provide, quote, transparency to the public regarding who exactly is supporting Heritage, and that the data contains full names, email addresses, passwords, and usernames of those who have interacted with Heritage. So basically, like, if you have had any interaction or like they have your email, then this data has been taken, basically. Some of the data stolen includes U.S. government email addresses, VO says. Quote, "This itself can have an impact on Heritage's reputation. It'll especially push away users in positions of power." Because if you're being outed as being like a advocate for these people, then you're kind of an asshole. So,
I also don't imagine, when I picture people that are trying to enact these terrible policies, listen, I don't think of them as the smartest, as the brightest crayons in the bunch. So
old white men and then their lackeys.
Their passwords were probably something like "own the libs 47" or some bullshit, and that's probably as good as you got for a password.
Nobody will ever get past guns rule or libtards suck. SiegeSec says the attack is part of its Op Trans Rights campaign, which love it. Love that they have Operation Trans Rights. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's really good.
Which has included attacks against government websites in states with anti-abortion and anti-trans sympathies. This is the second attack on the Heritage Foundation has faced this year, with the first forcing the foundation to shut down its network in April. Kevin Roberts, president of the Heritage Foundation, said the American right was, quote, and this is a fucking insane quote, "in the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be."
Jesus Christ.
That is literally saying we will not kill you if you get in. Like, if you get in our way, we're going to kill you. But if you get out of our way and let us just destroy everything, then we're good. Like,
I hope more hackers are taking note, because it's like, you hear about ransomware that infects like a hospital or something, and that's really hurting people. But just look at how much money the GOP has. Just go take some of their shit. Like, they're just leaving it all over the place. Just go take it.
It's fucking everywhere. This is the last part of it. A separate Heritage spokesperson later added the organization was not hacked, telling Cyberscoop none of its systems were breached at any time. I feel like this is a lie, though. With the incident,
we have the strongest systems in the world.
A false narrative and an exaggeration by a group of criminal trolls trying to get attention. But that is the end of the article. I really like that one. And then this last one, we just need to say, we don't need to go very far into this. This is a Newsweek article. Why Kim Kardashian's latest beauty regimen has fans flabbergasted. Now, what do you think? I'm going to say she injected something into her face. What
Greek
do you
yogurt.
think?
It's Greek yogurt in the face.
Greek yogurt
right in the face.
You know what? That would actually work
Greek
better
yogurt
than what she. But I think it would make you lumpy. Like,
Will, what are you talking about? It's beautiful. Come on, you're silky smooth.
Nice Greek, yeah, all those nice fets. In the latest episode of The Kardashians, which was released on Hulu on Thursday, July 11th, the reality star shared her experience with a unique facial procedure aimed at achieving a youthful glow. And we put emphasis on unique. Quote, I got a salmon sperm facial with salmon sperm injected into my face.
No. Hey, no. Not even salmon want
Kardashian
that.
revealed to her mother, Kris Jenner, a woman who has had a lot of Botox, by the way, who looked visibly shocked by the revelation.
Yeah, not
even
good.
she has been like, "What? You did fucking what?
You did what now? Now some things are too far, Kim. Please."
They go on to say this is unconventional. Yeah, no shit. Like, we don't need to go farther into the article. That was the funniest part.
there's some amount of wealth where you start injecting your face with things
with sperm. Yeah,
and I think at that point we should be able to tax you at about 80%. I think at that point we should just be able to take your money.
Yeah, you could just take your money at this point. Just you don't deserve it.
If you go to a doctor and the doctor says to you, "This has been clinically tested on nobody," you still want to go through with it, and you're like, "Sounds good,
It
doc."
has a 5% chance of making you look 2% more youthful. Are you going to go through with it? Yeah, I think that's actually pretty good
And
odds.
there's a 100% chance that I'm going to stick a needle full of salmon jizz in you, and you're going to be paying for it.
There's a 95% chance that you're going to get salmon face, where your face turns into a fish face, and you're going to go, whoa, whoa, whoa.
You ever see Left Shark? You're going to be left salmon.
You're going to be
left salmon.
It's going to be bad.
You're going to be searching for your spawn grounds and trying to swim upstream. It's a side effect, but it's a known side effect. So, full disclosure.
It's not often that you get to say, if somebody injected their face with human jizz, I would be more accepting. And that's already a bridge
I would be
way
like,
too far.
at least we've probably done some science with that, right? Like we have easy access to that.
There's like biology connection there. At least it's not like on different planes, different genuses, different
You're like,
species.
it's the same DNA, so there's got to be something.
There's something like this is nothing.
This is nothing.
It made me mad. I clicked on it. We don't need to get further into this because I already feel like we're a gossip rag right now. It's stupid. But hopefully your next segment's less fucking stupid.
It's not, but we'll move on to it. This comes to us from CNN Style. It's an In the News article. It's entitled, "Australian Museum Admits That Picasso's Hanging in Restroom Are Fake."
Oh, come on, man.
This seems pretty benign. Like,
it is.
I wouldn't usually be like, "Oh man, like art, it's not real." We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it.
I mean, hanging a Picasso, any fine art in a bathroom, already to me feels weird because it's like, and here we're going to have it, and a nice moisturizing bath of people's fucking piss spray everywhere.
Everywhere, and it's good for you. All right, a museum in Australia has come clean. The Picasso paintings hanging in its women's restroom were forged by one of its own curators. The American curator and artist Kirsha Keshele, who is married to the owner of the Tasmania's Museum of Old and New Art, called Mona, admitted in a blog post on Wednesday that she produced 3 fake Picassos which had previously hung in the museum's Ladies' Lounge, an installation exploring misogyny. The Ladies' Lounge first made headlines in 2020 as a female-only space displaying what were presented as original Picassos once owned by Keshele's great-grandmother. Last month, as a tongue-in-cheek response to a male visitor's complaint about being barred from the installation, the paintings were relocated to a female restroom. At the time, CNN asked Mona to provide the paintings' names, but the museum did not respond. In her blog post, which she titled "Art is Not Truth," Keshele said that paintings... She had titled her blog post "Art is Not Truth."
That's
the first...
That's a stupid name for that. I'm immediately like, I'm sorry, this is... Oh, a blog post. I see. I understand now. It's somebody's stupid opinion.
A bit of a bait and switch, because the article headline is "They're not real Picassos." The article is really about this woman who's a fucking nut job.
Oh,
so here's her blog post.
Okay.
Yeah, "Art is Not Truth." In her blog post, which was titled "Art is Not Truth," Keshele said she painted the works in secret with the help of her manicurist's niece, and claimed that even gallery staff were fooled.
Hey, shout out to my
most trusted confidant.
She was fucking with me from the start. She was a great thing. I put her into the bibliography.
The curator said she decided to forge the paintings after joking about the idea over drinks with a friend because she wanted them to match the space's color scheme and green silk curtains.
I always joke with you, Theo, about doing crimes.
About doing art crimes and pulling a fast one on people.
Yep.
Quote, I knew a number of Picasso paintings I could borrow from friends, but none of them were green, and I wished for the lounge to be monochrome. I also had time working against me, not to mention the cost of insuring a Picasso. Exorbitant, Kashele wrote. So you have friends with Picassos, but you wouldn't dare. You wouldn't dare.
Theo, we have talked about literal mass murderers on this podcast, and yet this person has had the biggest drop in goodwill I think I've ever had.
She went from being like, oh, you're a curator for like an art museum, like that's really great, like you're putting art into the world, you're letting people come and see it too. It didn't match my color scheme.
Oh, you know what? I had the run of the Picasso paintings because my friends all had Picassos, of course. Of course. But we need to match it all.
I'm not friends with pores. I would never. Women have been pulling Picasso apart lately, questioning his supremacy. They question my selection of his art. And I like that. I like that a misogynist would dominate the walls of the ladies' lounge, Kashele wrote.
What?
That's weird, huh?
She didn't even say, she kind of said we're doing it ironically, but then she said, no, we're doing this truthfully. Like, this is what we want but yeah, you're above Picasso because the man's dead at this point. Like, you could stand on his grave.
Right.
So, okay, let's get more into this mind. I'm like now fascinated by this woman.
And then she goes on, quote, 3 years ago, I fantasized there would be a scandal. Fake Picassos exposed. Art fraud. I imagined that a Picasso scholar, or maybe just a Picasso fan, or maybe just someone who Googles things, would visit the ladies' lounge and see that the painting was upside down and expose me on social media, she added. She's like leading breadcrumbs, hoping someone will catch her in the act.
This bitch is in her own book.
She's in her own novel. She's in her own art heist novel.
You don't. By the way, forgeries are illegal. If you try to pass it off as an actual Picasso, like it depends on. I think there is like different things if you try to sell it off as a Picasso. I don't know if it said in the article if she sold it. She is a curator.
Probably,
but this
probably
also
not.
This is also like so unethical as a museum curator to be like, oh yeah, by the way, I just like made.
Yeah,
fake
you're
ones.
also
like,
charging people to come see this art. So that's not great.
Yeah,
Kashele also revealed that other works displayed in the ladies' lounge were also not genuine. A collection of New Guinean spears presented as antiques were in fact brand new. A rug presented once belonging to the Queen Mary of Denmark was also a modern creation made from low-grade polyester, she said. I am relieved I have told you because now we can revel together in this madness, Kashele added.
What the fuck is going on?
Assuming you still want to speak to me, I hope you can forgive me.
She is like the Ed Norton's character from Glass Onion. Like, why? She's an idiot.
Doing?
Yes. Oh, you found my little crime. Was it because I laid so many breadcrumbs for you, detective? And it's just an old fat detective. He's like, little lady, you're going to fucking jail.
I don't give a shit, lady. You're gonna rot in the cell.
This is not Basic Instinct.
The next header in this article is great. But why?
Yeah, why?
But why? Explaining.
It's her ego. I can answer it. It's her fucking ego.
She wants to feel something, yes.
Yeah.
Explaining the idea behind the ladies' lounge, Kashele said she knew it had to be as opulent and sumptuous as possible, including the world's very best art helped make men feel as excluded as possible, she added.
Okay, this is one of those times that
she's just in her own head. I love the idea of putting together a very fancy ladies' lounge. I think that's great. It's also she went all in on it. She made it her whole shit.
It wouldn't be bad if she literally said this is a recreation. Like that, nobody would give a shit. But she, in her own head, she like built herself up as a villain in a weird way of like, my cunning ploy. Like, oh, you figured it out.
The ladies' lounge, a green velvet draped room adorned with gold detailing, opened to any and all ladies in December 2020. The installation claimed that women would be surrounded by priceless works of art, including several that demonstrate the genius of Picasso, while also being served by male butlers. There's a lot to unpack here in that she put together this ladies' lounge that's like supposed to be a fuck you to men, but also is kind of just a fuck you to the ladies who are enjoying the art that was fake. Like she kind of Uno reversed herself.
Yeah, because it's not a genuine piece.
Right, like you've created a fake area for people to enjoy. But also, I love the idea that there's just a bunch of male butlers hanging out in the women's bathroom. Like, what are they doing here? Why are they here?
Ma'am, would you like a tampon? Or maybe a mint? Better not mix them up.
Here's a quote. So I filled the lounge with invaluable, in quotes, objects, framing each physically in gold and metaphorically with dubious stories centered around a fictional woman, a version of myself. Stories available only to those on the inside, women, each more absurd than the last, Kashele wrote.
Did she say women, or was it in parentheses?
It was in parentheses, women. She put it in there, though.
That's so stupid. Yeah, we know we're done.
It's so dumb.
Okay.
Kashele added that each of those stories intended to raise questions around gender, freedom, power structures, authenticity, and value. Yeah, you've made me you've made me question everything in your museum. Congratulations.
Yeah, exactly. You played yourself. That's one half of it.
You run a business that's based on credibility. What?
And the other half is I guess because she said she wanted the misogynistic, but she seemed like for it as opposed to against it. But then she put it in the bathroom. Her point, like that part is weird too.
All these illusions built the fantasy for those who are afforded the experience of the lounge, and importantly, those who are excluded. Earlier this year, Mona was forced to allow men into the exhibit after a tribunal ruled that it was discriminatory. The move followed a complaint by Jason Lau, a visitor from New South Wales, who was barred from entering the ladies' lounge on April 2023. Lau, who had paid the $35 Australian entry fee, said that he had experienced direct gender discrimination. Hard to argue with it. It's pretty hard to argue with that.
I know a place that is literally called a men's bar. Like, it still has the sign that says men's bar. Women can go to it, but they, like, that wasn't until, like, the 70s or 80s.
Right, where they had to open up. Yeah.
They figured that was discriminatory. I don't know why in the year 2024, we're like, wait, this is discriminatory? Fuck, whoa.
Kashele told the tribunal that denying men entry to the mysterious room was indeed part of the art. Give them a taste of the discrimination and exclusion many women have experienced throughout history. She subsequently found a loophole by installing the paintings in a female restroom. While the ladies' lounge undergoes a series of reforms to meet the exemptions required for reopening, I've been doing a little redecorating, she told CNN in an email at the time. I thought a few of the bathrooms in the museum could do with an update. Some cubism in the cubicles. That's how they
this lady.
Yeah, she's the worst. She's the worst. She's a mix.
She's a cartoon character.
She's a cartoon. She's an actual cartoon character, like someone who's trapped in their own art world and has their head so far up their own ass that they don't realize that they're a joke.
Also, she's imagining like Poirot or like Sherlock Holmes finding her.
Right.
No, the fucking Scooby Gang could find this. Like, what are you talking about? She's like, I hate this woman so much. I'm envisioning just the most snooty, like, has the biggest, worst glasses on.
Also, just unveiling all of this in a very long form, self-indulgent blog post is just like peak.
So good.
It's
so
just peak.
Is there any follow up of like, did she get fired for this? Because that seems
she owns
terrible.
the place. She owns the guy that runs it.
Oh, okay, never mind. She's a fucking asshole though. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Ooh. Seems bad. I just would recommend not going there. It seems bad.
Seems like a bad place to go.
Yeah. Well, I hope that your next segment is filled with less fraud.
Oh, well, yeah, I don't think there's a lot of fraud here on
All right.
Amazon Erotica.
Oh, it's fraud for my heart.
It's fraud. Yeah, Hey, this is a bait and switch on my heart. I thought this man was actually here going to take me to his mountain lair. The only kind of fraud I could see...
He's some combination of a tuna fish and a werewolf, and I'm into it.
Whoa. Which half is hat? Which is which?
I'll let you decide, whichever one's sexier to you.
Oh, man, that's actually tough. I don't know. Would you
rather have wolf on top and tuna on bottom, or wolf on bottom, tuna on top?
You can't do anything with tuna on bottom, but then you're gonna have to kiss that big lips.
You can't do anything with tuna on bottom.
That's nothing.
Yeah, that's nothing. You gotta. You're kind of forced into wolf on bottom, huh?
It's stupid. The only fraudulent thing I could see with this is I could see some of the authors maybe being AI generated.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But all of them have also fake names. For people who don't know, I haven't done this segment in a little bit. I go to the bestsellers of Amazon, the erotica section for audiobooks and Kindle books, and I find the funniest descriptions. And this first one is from Talena Tillman, Forever My Hitter, Pharaoh and Bella, as 4.5 stars. So people seem to like it. For 11 years, Bella and Pharaoh had been secretly in love. Unfortunately, their relationship has consistently encountered insurmountable obstacles that ultimately led to their separation. This was a series of very big words. I don't know if that
someone
was
really wanted to flex their vocabulary in here.
Yeah, Bella pursues a life as a sensational superstar singer, reveling in the spotlight in adoration of her fans. Now, Theo, I feel like that's one half of that's the woman, like, dream of these.
Right.
Then we get to the classic, every fucking one of these. The man, apparently the dream man. Pharaoh, on the other hand, leads a dangerous life as a hitman. His existence cloaked in shadows.
You know, when you're a pop star and you want your very high-profile boyfriend to be a literal murderer.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh, you're going to be going to Miami for your show? I actually have a job there myself. Very convenient.
It's really convenient.
When Bella's tour concludes one day, that's also very vague.
Very lazy.
No more, I'm done, everybody. I'm done. No more songs. She takes a leap of faith and shows up on Pharaoh's doorstep, determined to reclaim her man and work through their issues once and for all. However, and I also love to think that he just has, like, speaking of Scooby-Doo, like a bunch of traps. Like he has, like, guns all pointed. Who's there?
Who's there?
I'm a hitman. I don't know who's trying to get me.
I like that she's like
lover, Bella.
She's doing her last show on her tour, and she's up there and she's singing her heart out. And meanwhile, she's just having a whole internal monologue. She's like, he does murder people, but other than that, he's a pretty good guy. Like, I think we can work around that.
I don't even think she knows that he murders people, because it kind of phrases it like they separated, and then she was like, okay, time to become fucking Taylor Swift, and then he was like, time for the high octane world of murder. Yeah. Like, and then however, the stark differences in their lifestyles and lingering wrath of her uncle continue to loom, threatening to keep them apart forever. Yeah, I think jail would also keep you apart forever. When it's all said and done, can their love defeat the odds stacked against them? So what you mean?
You mean like the law and jail
time? Yeah, I was about to say
that's the odds stacked against them.
We're supposed to be rooting for a murderer, a actual if he was a confirmed hitman, he has murdered people. So
you're right that, like, so many of these, the ideal man is one who, in their free time for their occupation, they're out there murdering people and then come home and all the women are like, seems great to me. I'm into this.
How was the day, honey? Well, I killed 3 men in cold blood.
Come here, you.
Let me give you some sugar. But that was the end of that one. So these are all kind of quick. This is now More Than a Crush by Nicole J. Jackson. Which isn't Nicole Jackson. I think they added in the J. Just Nicole Jackson is a singer.
That's for SEO. Yeah.
Yeah, that's for SEO. Lyric's husband, Griff, has a wandering eye, and she knows it. Lyric's husband, Griff, has a wandering eye, and she knows it.
Excuse me, if your name is Lyric, you can't marry someone named Griff. No. That's honey, like someone named Beyonce naming someone named Bozo. You can't do it. You can't do it.
This is my love of my life, Bozo. Hey there, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Also, lyric sounds like an anthropomorphic musical note that is in, like,
you're doing an anamorphs, the person is turning into a music note.
This is also we'll get a little bit later on. It has confusing phrasing that it took me a few things to, like, understand, but
maybe
he's
AI.
Maybe AI. He's now taken things to a new height, as he suggests that he should be given a hall pass. So Griff wants a hall pass from Lyric.
Griff, you're on thin ice with that name, and it's getting thinner by the second.
The only problem, apparently his name is not a problem to her, is that Griff wants the pass to be Nay, his best friend's shooter girl. That is how it's phrased.
What?
His best friend is named Shooter, who his girl is named Nay.
I heard his best
The phrasing is, yeah,
I heard
absolutely.
his best friend. I heard his best friend's tutor's girl. Like he's hanging out with a dumb friend that needs like a tutor, and is like, that's his girl. But it's Shooter. His best friend Shooter.
This is terrible names.
Hey, ladies, if your man has a best friend named Shooter, that's a red flag. I hate to tell you.
Nay's not that better. Because that's what you say. That's a negative term. Would you like to go out? The Nay's taken.
The Nays haven't.
So he wants to have sex with Nay, who's his best friend's girl. Terrible. That's a bad. And he's saying this to his, or it implies that he's saying this to his girl, or at least has that intention. Needing a little incentive, Griff offers to swap out with Shooter to get a mere taste of Nay. So now he's doing he's going behind her back to be like, how about we do a wife swap? My wife didn't agree to it and yours didn't either. Like, just because I just want to get a taste of Nay. Unfortunately for Griff, what he believes will be a one night, this is my favorite sentence ever. Unfortunately for Griff, what he believes will be one night of pleasure quickly transforms into a life filled with pain. What?
I got jaundice.
I love that he was just like, you know what? This is the perfect plan. It's never going to be bad in any way. And then he's just strapped to a table medieval style. Stretch. It's like, this is what you get. This is a sexy, steamy, scandalous story of what happens when two friends swap out partners for the night. So anyway, if you want to read that. And last but not least, Keep You Both by Catherine Nolan. What's the first rule of wedding planning? Don't fall for the couple.
Oh.
That's the first rule? Don't fall for the couple?
I thought the first one would have been make sure you charge for your time, just to make sure you're getting paid, like
make sure you get a good photographer. I think it's the first rule of weddings. It was supposed to be a quick trip to the mountains. I was going to show my best friends Bo and Flora their wedding venue. Hope they said yes, and check another task off the long list of things to do before they tie the knot. Why are you?
Opening scene in the movie. Woman driving in her car. I'm going to the mountains. It's gonna be a quick trip. I'll be home by the afternoon. It's gonna be all right.
All those quick trips to the mountains.
For the day trip to the mountains.
Also, Theo, in our real life, I saw a hat that I was like, this would be perfect for Theo's mom. And I texted you, and I almost started the text to you with, this is a weird thing to say, but I think this would be a great gift for your mom. This is this person showing them a venue for the wedding, which I feel which makes my anxiety about hey, this is a weird thing seem paltry in comparison to just be like, anyway, this is where you should get married, fuckers.
Have good luck saying no. I'm driving down back the mountain without you.
This is also a horror movie beginning. We're just going to the mountains to see the venue. Hopefully, nothing goes wrong there. And continue to keep my feelings for the bride and groom under wraps. So she's just horny for both of them from the get-go, I guess. What I didn't plan for was the sudden blizzard to trap all three of us in a cozy cabin over New Year's Eve weekend. Oh fuck!
Hey, The Shining? Oh, so we're doing The Shining. Okay, fine, we're doing The Shining then.
All work and no play makes Jack a horny boy.
That's absolutely something they've already done. That's 100,000% something that's already been done.
By the way, just as a quick aside, you know how there's porn parodies of movies? What do you think the Back to the Future porn parody is called? Because I learned this weekend, and it made me fucking... It's not what you think.
I can't wait in suspense.
Because I would think it would be like the busted out Back of the Future, you know what I mean? Like something like that.
It's not bad.
It's Back to the Cooter.
What?
That's a term for vagina. It's cooter. A term nobody uses, by the way.
I've never heard that before in my life.
Oh, you want some cooter? Oh, no.
That sounds like it's from the 70s, and I don't like it.
Back to the Cooter. That was so funny.
I don't like it.
It was Back to the Cooter 2. And I'm like, is Biff Tannen in it? Like, what the fuck? But anyway, just me, the dirty talking paramedic, the flirty baker, and too many bottles of champagne. Oops.
Wait, how did they? Oh, because one of them is a baker. Yeah, I see.
There goes the baker. Talk about a disaster. Resisting temptation is the only option because revealing my secret would ruin the relationship and our friendship. I'm going to say good instincts. Yeah. I'm not willing to lose them both, even if the couple I'm forbidden to have might want me back. Keep you both is an MFF novella set over New Year's Eve weekend with a guaranteed happily ever after. Which I mean,
guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Which does that mean they all get married to each other? Like, is that the happily ever after?
That's how it works. Listen, that's how it works. If you sleep with a couple in a snowstorm, you get to be part of the wedding. That's how it works. I don't make the rules.
That's how it works. That's how it works. But hey, this is just a warning for all of our listeners. If you're trapped in a cabin with a couple, don't fuck them. They're about to get married.
Start wedding planning.
Or
it's part of the rules.
She just gets way more focused on their wedding planning of like I gotta distract myself.
Now I'm invested.
But that brings us to the happily ever after of this episode.
Guaranteed.
Theo, we're at the end of it. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of Segment City. Remember, if you have any segments you want to send it to us, send it to segmentcitypodcast@gmail.com. Hit up our YouTube, which has full episodes, and we'd love to see any ratings or star reviews you want to give to us. We'd love to see them, to see if people are liking the podcast. And we got a big thank you to give to somebody in particular.
That thank you is to Rachel Robinson. She does our intro music, and she has wonderful other tracks you can find spinning the DJ tracks around the globe, around the web, whatever streaming service. Yeah.
Oh, she's the
yeah. And some say she's trapped in a blizzard. Oh, she can't get out. It's so cold. But what's that in the distance? Oh, it's the Shining Hotel. I'm safe. It's fine.
No.
Oh no.
I'm trapped in this hedge maze. Just can't keep it going. Another thing from this weekend before we get to the last segment, which will be a list of unusual deaths, I had a friend in the car that when I was driving up to a place for a trip, and they were like, "Hey, everyone remembers my favorite Professor Oak quote: things happen for a reason or something." Like,
is that what they said? Is that what Professor
Oak
said?
Something they said, or something. Like it was the quote. Yeah, things happen for a reason or something. It was like, yeah, I remember that quote. That was a great quote. But now let's get to this death of an unknown Iraqi male, which I think this is the first time we've had unknown as a person, who died in August 22nd, 1888. At around 8:30 p.m., a shower of meteorites fell, quote, like rain on a village in, and this is going to be hard for me to say, Suleymaniye, Iraq, then part of the Ottoman Empire. One man died and another was paralyzed. His death is considered the only credible case of death by meteorite.
Wow, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
That's insane.
Because I was like, this is kind of a weird one to do. Oh, that's an interesting fact. I'm going to do that.
Sometimes I didn't know the list of unusual deaths is like someone, they farted too hard. They had a heart attack. It's like,
yeah. And
this one is just genuinely unusual.
Yeah.
Statistically unusual.
I wonder how big the meteorite was that hit him. It must have been small.
Yeah, probably small, right?
That sucks though. That's like that's literally a 1 in a billion chance of that happening. Doesn't happen again. But you know what's going to happen again? We're going to have another dang episode next time.
Ding dang.